I think it goes without saying, but I'm going to say it anyway. I really like Kijiji. I do pretty well in it. It's not always simple though, and sometimes it gets downright weird. So today we're doing an entire episode just about my Kijiji experiences. First off, I know sometimes people get a little curious about what sells and what doesn't, so I'm going to do a quick run through of all the things that have sold recently. Then I'm going to show you this mountain of stuff that I am listing right away, and then we'll get into story time. So here's all the recent sales.
I was like, Kayla, Sharon knows.
And you may have noticed all that stuff in the background. That's me preparing this week's finds and listings. It's this mountain of stuff here, some of which should do pretty well. I know it can be difficult to see what exactly is there when you're looking at it all in a clump, so let me quickly run you through everything that I'm listing this week. Now, a few items that are not going on Kijiji right now. This frame. I found it, I like it, it's in great shape. I have a game poster that I managed to whine enough to Durant to convince him to give me because I really liked it, and it's probably going to go in here. I'm going to need to iron it out. I'm probably going to do a mini video and put that on my Instagram. By the way, thanks to you guys who did check out my Instagram to see the Halloween costume I made this year. Turned out great. Thanks for the love. There'll be more interesting stuff happening there in the future, so, well, links there. The next one, I should have been more smart when I set up this camera, is this blower. So this air mover has an issue in that it's missing the on-off switch and the cover that should be right here. And looking at the state of the wires, I'm guessing that's because the previous owner found a problem with it and decided he would try and just bypass the switch. It's not the switch. When you turn this thing on, it goes by turn on I mean plug in. This capacitor here is a start capacitor. It's made to just give the boost of energy to get the motor started. So if it's not starting, I'm guessing it's that. Basically, this item I think is worth the time to repair and sell, if that is indeed the problem. So I got to test the capacitor, then replace the capacitor, and then if it all works well, I need to buy those little plastic pieces, which is not that bad. I'd be about 20 bucks in for a unit that costs $200 new. Lastly, this thing here I did not find. This was given to me by a friend. It is the Sony, this thing. It hooks up to your TV and plays things off the internet. The problem is it's based on Google TV, which was not a huge success and nobody uses. And they kind of nerfed it when they updated it, and now the YouTube player won't work, so it basically works for Netflix and that's about it. So I don't think anybody's gonna buy it. But it's a really nice piece of hardware, and it comes with this really sexy remote. See it on the back? And this is a Bluetooth remote. So because it's Bluetooth, I think I can hook this up to the thing that I watch TV with. That's basically it. Not selling these items because I've got better plans for them. Now, I told you there were some weird things that can happen. Check this out. Oh, there's one other thing that I sold this week. It was a Super Nintendo Classic. Here in Canada, they're $105 after tax, and I sold it for $145. Now, go ahead and hate me for being a scalper if that's how you feel, but the guy who bought it was stoked. And why wouldn't he be?
He didn't have to spend all that time hunting around the city, waiting in line, fighting for one of the few that actually showed up at a store. Do you have any idea how many Walmarts I had to check to find that thing? All he had to do was hop on Kijiji and pay a reasonable markup for the product and pick it up whenever the heck he wanted. Besides, when you make your living like this, something's got to fill in the gaps, because there will be gaps, so you got to recognize opportunities when you see one. Now, story time. This first one comes by way of a set of 4 tires that I put up for 25 bucks because they only had like 2 seasons left on them, and one of them had a puncture in it. Now, a puncture doesn't cost that much to repair, and it wasn't in a difficult spot, so I figured there was still value, and there was. There was plenty of interest, but after so many people flaking out when Georgette messaged me for them, I decided to just give them to her for free. So naturally, she's grateful. Asks for the address, give the address, she wants to set up a time, and I tell her, you know what, I'll put them on the front porch, you come get them whenever you want. Because it's like, I don't need to meet her. They're free. So she tells me she'll come by after 7. So 7 o'clock rolls around and she asks for the address again. Which is kind of annoying, because I'm doing stuff, I'm busy. So I'm not hiding the fact that, yo, you've already got all the information, lady, but here it is again. And she tells me she put it in her GPS and she can't find it. It kind of sounds like a personal problem if you ask me. I don't know what she wants me to do. So I suggest maybe there was a spelling error, which is probably because you suck at spelling. Now she's all capitals text yelling at me. Can I get your phone number so I can call and you can give me directions? I don't know how much you expect me to hold your hand, but you have the information, you have the technology, I believe in your ability to figure this out. Now I've got stuff to do, stuff that's more important to me, and she's already eaten up way more of my time than she has any right to, and I just don't feel like being any more help. Now considering she doesn't respect my time, she clearly doesn't know how to use technology very effectively, I'm giving them to her for free, and my phone number is actually listed on the ad, but she couldn't be fussed to look for it. I don't have enough skin in the game to keep going with this. This is no longer an efficient use of my time. So maybe it's a little bit sassy, but I'm just so over it at this point. I tell her if she can figure it out, she can have them, and I'm done. I'm aware I could have been more polite. I'm not sorry. Girl yelled at me over free tires. Anyway. Now this next one I didn't bother taking screenshots of, but it was basically about that tree that I got at the auction. I put it up for 15 bucks, which, if you think about what those things sell for, I think that's a pretty good price. So this chick offers me 5 bucks, and I just flat out, no. No, I'm not gonna barter with somebody that starts so far off the asking price. So the next day she offers me 8 bucks. So I said, how about 10? She said, sorry, 8's all I have, please. Maybe I'm losing my gentle touch or just losing my patience. I ask her, why are you spending your last 8 bucks shopping for fake plants? So she sends me this long paragraph of how she loves plants and it makes her feel good on the inside, but she can't have her last plant, she had to get rid of it because she didn't want her kid to eat it or something. She was just so committed to it. I said, you know what, fine, 8 bucks is, sure, fine. Let me know when you can come and get it. A few hours go by and she sends me another message asking, is there any way you could deliver it downtown? Please stop. That's all I said. Conversation done. I'm out. You don't get to grind me down to half my asking price, then pester and whine me into submission over it, and then ask for a free delivery. Anyway, last one. This one's kind of weird. I'm not really sure what this person was going for. This is about those table legs. The tabletop was garbage, but the legs were all cast aluminum, so I was like, ooh, scrap metal. And then I realized somebody might actually want them, so I put them up on Kijiji. Turns out somebody did want them. His name's Daniel. He contacts me, he's interested, asks what time is good, we set up a time for tomorrow, and then so he gets a hold of me in the morning, and he's being super friendly, and I'm like, hey, this is fun. Wee! Friends! We set up a time, sounds good, I'm just chilling at home, working on my thing. The time rolls around, and he's like, oh no, I've got an emergency! So, no big deal. 12:30 it is. Sounds good, Daniel. See you then. So then he messages me an hour late. Plans changed again. Gotta go to town. Be back Tuesday or Wednesday. Awesome. Super cool the way you keep dicking me around and wasting all my time, sending way more messages than necessary and then bailing. At this point, I should have just taken the ad down and scrapped it. He comes back in town Wednesday, and it's like, Halloween sounds! I guess I'm curious where he's going with this, so I text a bunch of Halloween sounds. So he tries to set up another time. I was like, when's good? Like, I'm home now. Now's good. I was like, traffic sucks. Give me a bit. And then he goes into, I guess he's trying to text like an Arnold accent. I don't know what he's doing. Then he asks, is 7:30 cool? I said anytime's cool, so yeah, that counts. But then, guess what? Big surprise, he's got to go somewhere else again. But tomorrow for sure. At this point, I definitely should have stopped talking to him. But I wanted 15 bucks. But tomorrow, for sure, absolutely, believe me. Side note, when somebody tells you to believe them or to trust them, in my experience, don't do it. Because if they were trustworthy, they wouldn't be trying to convince you they were trustworthy. But now he's trying to brush it off as a fun little joke. We're just having a fun time. And he starts talking about Clint Eastwood, and then he something about a courier pigeon he's going to send the money over. And then he says he's going to pay me 20 bucks for it if he doesn't make it by tomorrow. And like, if you don't make it by tomorrow, like, I should have just tell him I don't like birds. He says, what about horse? And then he's like, asking about the top. I'm like, you know what? Just, I can't believe I have to specify this, but just drive over here and pick it up in a vehicle. Now it's got something to do with fossils or walking from Medicine Hat. Like, just stop. But then he eventually gets around to the point and is like, is 5 o'clock good? Like, I'll be right here working on this Halloween costume that you keep distracting me from. He's like, awesome. I'm a wizard. You'll see. You're a loser. So the next day he opens up with this little gem.
What's up?
You know, at this point, I am so done. I don't even care. I just want this person out of my life. So I tell him I've got other stuff to do. Legs will be on the porch. Put the money in the mailbox, and let's just never see each other again. Now my roommate's home. She's downstairs. My sister's going to be home in a short little while, so I take off to do my stuff. And when I come back, the legs are gone and the money's in the mailbox. So glad this is over. Walk inside, my phone returns to the Wi-Fi, and I get this little flurry of messages. Nobody was upstairs. This troll is trying to imply that he wandered around inside my house when nobody was home. So I call his bluff, I told him I use a Mac, finish with a flourish of kindness, and get on with my life, never seeing this person again. I better never see this person again. The thing is, the money was in the mailbox and nothing in the house was missing or moved. So that means this douche canoe was just trying to get his kicks, degrading a person's sense of security in their own home. Have you ever had your house broken into? It's not funny. So I guess the lesson here is lock your doors, because people can be weird. Don't be weird. Stay out of other people's houses when they're not there or you're not invited. Leave it better than you found it. Keep doing the things.